let's see. Here we go. Here it is. Here's Baldy on the radio this morning on the FM talking about Nick Sorensen. Here it is.
You think they should have maybe blitzed more because Greg Olson was on the broadcast. He said, man, one blitz here. And Nick Bosa, he was on the field, Seattle averaged 3.3 yards a play. He left the game early third quarter, Baldy. Seattle started averaging 6 yards a play. So without your premier pass rusher, Leonard Floyd's obviously going to get the attention on the other side. Do you think Sorensen maybe should have dialed up more pressures? Now, I know that puts a lot of stress on your young secondary, but something's got to give here. You got to either get some pressure on Gino. He got way too comfortable in that second half.
It was too easy. It's easy for Greg. I mean, look, I don't disagree with Greg at all. But even when they did blitz, I mean, it was just Fred Warner just kind of getting in as a fifth rusher. There wasn't anything overloads or free hitters. They don't really know how to do that. I'm not here to throw Nick Sorensen under the bus, but they don't, as opposed to Steve Spagnuolo and some of these other teams in this league that are good blitzing teams. They just don't know how to get a free hitter to the quarterback. They just don't dial it up. They don't overload. They don't disguise. And so they're pretty bland in what they do.
Wow. I mean, that's
crazy.
He's not lying there.
That's not exactly the ringing endorsement for give Nick Sorensen a fucking 3-year extension. I mean, my God, that they don't know how to dial it up. They don't do any overloads. They're not creative. I mean, what would you say Sorensen does here then? I mean, come on. I mean, why did the Niners want this guy as the defensive coordinator if he can't dial up a blitz? He doesn't know, I mean, to hear Baldy say it, he made Sorensen sound awful there.
Yeah, he's bad, man. He hit it right on the head. They don't seem like they're creative. They don't seem to know what they're doing on defense. And I think that's the inexperience in Sorensen. He's not a defensive coordinator. This is his first year. I think he's learning on the fly. You can't have that. If you're a Super Bowl contender, you can't have your defensive coordinator that's just a brand new guy that, oh, yeah, he knows the team. He knows the system. He's a team guy. We'll promote him. No, you need a guy that's a bona fide star. And honestly, I'm going to say this. I think the 49ers wanted Brandon Staley as their DC. That's why they brought him in, but he didn't get the job because I think people would have been like, oh, what the hell? They were going to question it because they questioned the fact that they interviewed him, Larry. People are like, whoa, I don't want Staley. And I think Kyle likes Staley. I've seen him so many times around him. You see him at training camp. You've seen him at all these he's always close to Staley. I feel like he wanted Staley because I think they're good friends off the field. But in order to justify bringing Staley, they're like, okay, we're going to make Nick the DC guy. He could be the name. I just really think they wanted Staley, but they would have got a backlash from fans and the league. So in order to make that happen, they're like, oh, yeah, we'll have Sorensen as the DC guy. So I don't know. And again, he's a new defensive coordinator. You can't have that. If you're a Super Bowl team, you can't just have a guy learning the ropes as your DC. It doesn't work. That's why I think they're lost and confused. This guy has no clue on what he's doing. Sorensen needs to go.
I'm not going to push back on that at all. I mean, I'm just not. I don't like the answers he gives me. I felt like Wilkes had more answers for the questions last year than Sorensen has this year. When you ask Sorensen a tough question, he just filibusters on some point and then just stops talking and it doesn't really address it. I know Warner likes him, but I need more than that.
Cares. You need more than a friend.
Yeah,
you need more than that. You need a good coach. I need a good coach. I don't care if they're your friends.
Shanahan needs a star defensive coordinator. He needs a defensive coordinator that he doesn't have to ever deal with. He can just be like, you know what, this guy's running my D. That's why Belichick made sense. That's why Spags makes sense. I'd love to know what the Niners offered those guys as far as dollar compensation, because go pay somebody who's great to be your defensive coordinator, and go find somebody who's proven. And at this point, it just seems like as soon as Bosa went out, I mean, I could tell you, okay, Nick's going out. You've been doing a lot of, you've been leaning on your front four to get it done, but now Nick's going out. So now you can't really lean on your front four as much as you have when Nick was in the game, right? That makes sense.
Mhm.
Did they send a bunch of exotics? No. And then when it was clear that Yatir Gross-Matos was cooked and he had nothing left, they brought Demo Lenore off the edge on the second to last play of the game and asked Devondre Campbell to cover Jackson Smith and the Jigba in the flat. And he, of course, couldn't cover him. And then he came back and missed the tackle. And it's like,
bro.
dude, what are you thinking that you would? I realize Yatir Gross-Matos had nothing. And so you had to dial up some pressure somewhere. But you're gonna send a pressure that essentially gets Jackson Smith and the Jigba in a one-on-one with Devondre Campbell. And what do you think? What do you think Gino did? He went right to JSN, right to him,
as he should. Sorenson's an amateur, bro. He's an amateur. He's a new again. He's a first-time DC, and it's showing. It's showing so blatantly that he doesn't know how to mix people up. He doesn't know how to use his talent. He has some great talent on that defense, but he's not utilizing it right. To put Devondre Campbell on JSN, you deserve to lose that.
Seriously.
You
and then
deserve it.
and then you leave Campbell on the field. When Gino starts running, he's got a 10-yard gap between him and he
That
didn't
was
get
sick,
anywhere
Larry.
close to Gino. Nowhere close to Gino. And Winters runs well, and he got 10 snaps, and he was the highest graded player on the defense, according to PFF.
Sick.
But no.
Legend has it, Larry, that
Campbell
Devondre
time.
Campbell's still out there trying to run him down. He's still out there trying to run him down. That's the last time I heard. That's how.
I mean, come on.
Come on, man.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous that this guy's out there.
Joke, bro.
All right, two last ones. Isaac Yadam. He says, in my mind, we're still a great team. What's going on there? Or is that just a guy who was in New Orleans last year who's just happy to be here? We're still a great team. A great team. You're 5-5.
I mean, he's probably comparing it to his experience. Yeah, maybe he's right. Oh, we're a good team. Also, he's a player that's going to say great things because maybe he doesn't want to get his spot cut on the depth chart because he did get some more playing time these last couple of weeks. So he's probably got to say the right things. He's not going to throw the team under the bus. You know, he's a guy that came in on the offseason. He's not like Lenore, who's going to keep it 100 and say, no, we suck. We need to win every game. Everything's a must-win game. Like, you got certain players that are allowed to say what they want to say and keep it 100. But, you know, I think Yadam doesn't have that respect to go out there and say, oh, yeah, we suck. And, of course, he's going to say they're a great team. But I think if he would have said anything else, he might lose some reps out there.